So I wonder, what is it like going to a festival like Baroeg, Rotterdam? Like, of course it's a festival, but it's not the biggest festival, maybe.
It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. You know what I mean? It's the Baroeg for me was always a great place of DIY kind of independent sort of approach to things, which is where Napalm Death comes from. Actually, Napalm Death came from the punk scene. You know what I mean? It didn't come from the metal scene originally. So we appreciate that ethos. You know. So yeah, I love to support the Baroeg. It was always good for us. I always liked the kind of collective spirit of the Baroeg. So it's great for us to be doing the open air version, definitely.
Yeah, and I totally get that sense of that sense of DIY. The fact that you have to like that's punk. The squad scene, of course.
It's many different things. It's not just those. It's other things too. But yeah, the kind of collective feeling of achieving things without corporate help necessarily. Yeah, or help even. So yeah, it's important.
Is that like when you? Because you're saying, I assume you write the lyrics also, right? Yeah. Is that something you write about often, or?
Napalm always covered like human stories across the spectrum, so that would be one of the things. Certainly, yeah, we have done. Yeah.
And Baroeg, you said Baroeg. It's also Rotterdam. The number one subcultural kind of podium here.
Yeah.
How would you characterize Rotterdam, the subculture of Rotterdam, compared to others?
I don't know it. I must admit, I don't know a huge amount of that. I know the Baroeg, but I don't really know the deeper story of Rotterdam in that respect. I do know about Rotterdam in the sense that I like to think I study the world basically. So, I know Rotterdam as a port city. I know the things that come with that. But yeah, it's a good place. Like anywhere is really, it has its different appeals.
Yeah. And so like nothing like the people, just the same as anywhere. Like metal is metal.
People, Well, people are people. I try not to make distinctions. I mean, really, what is a metal person? What is a punk rocker? It's so many different things to so many different people.
Yeah, also like to add to that, sorry to cut you there, but to add to that, like for me, I feel like also that's a way of pushing yourself away by saying I'm this or that, and you're just gonna be yourself. And if you are yourself, you might become a metalhead by this.
I mean, if you want to characterize yourself as something, that's absolutely fine, But I think when people become so rigid about being that one thing, I think it detracts from the experience of life sometimes. It's like people, when we do interviews or whatever, speak to people, some people will talk about, oh, you're a metal band, or you're a metal person. It's like, well, in some respects to some people, yes, but certainly Napalm's about a lot more than that, And me as a person, I don't class myself as anything. I'm just me. Do you know what I mean? I've got an interest in many different things, but as a person, I'm me. For whatever that means to me or to other people, actually. So that's all. That's really all that matters for me,
Does it sometimes feel a bit weird or surreal to be making music and having a living off that, or how does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it don't take anything for granted, so it feels surreal in the sense that, I mean, Napalm's fucking noise, you know what I mean? That's what it is. It's pretty much close to white noise. And to think that people, it's been 30 plus years and people support the band still constantly, consistently, when it's so fucking noisy. It's quite absurd in many respects, but it's good, of course. You know what I mean? So, I've been in the band 32 or 33 years now. So, it's important to me. It's part of my life. It's a huge part of my life.
And I assume you wrote that music also years ago. And because when you know, it's quite philosophic. But when you wrote that music, you might have been a completely different person then. Or do you still identify just as closely now as you did with the music
I
then?
identify with the ideas the same. Me as a person, I've changed. Of course I have. There's, you know, people change, and that's a good thing actually, because life is probably a lot less interesting if it's just one uniform experience. You know, if it's many things, then it's going to be more interesting. And like, it's a comparatively short time on the earth, you know, and I personally believe there's nothing after this. You just go back to the earth. Do you know what I mean? That's it. No afterlife, no nothing. You know, I personally believe. So in that case, I'm going to kind of make the best of it while I'm here, you know, and I am doing that because I'm playing with a band that was my favourite band before I joined, and you know, I'm hopefully carrying it forward in a good way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Hopefully, you know.
Yeah. That's also crazy, that this responsibility maybe, but it's also crazy seeing the world, having these people come up to you. I certainly, I don't have that so much, but I feel some people have that. Oh, you're from Napalm Death, and they get nervous because of it.
Oh, they shouldn't. It's you know, this probably sounds like a cliche at this point, but I'm just a regular person like everybody else. I just happen to do something that people like, or we do, and I do my best, and that's it. You know, if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. You know what I mean? That's just it. I don't go out of my way to choreograph or make it look something that it isn't. You know, I just do my best, and that's really it. You know, I don't consider myself to be elevated beyond any other person. I could care less about that stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's it really. For as long as Napalm Death is, or I'm in Napalm Death, that's the way it is. You know, it's easier that way actually. Life is easier to be just, you know, go along with everybody else. You know, and it's not too complicated.
I also, you know, for me it's not that it's, I look up to someone, but it's an interesting scenario, an interesting situation for, you know, someone like you. I mean, that's something not everybody can experience, you know.
For sure. I mean, that's the thing. It's, you know, band life is very exciting in the sense that you get, watch out, man, in the sense that you get to travel and you see many different things. But you know, the other side of that coin is that it can be very ordinary sometimes, and that's not a bad thing. You know, that's all right. Life isn't all fireworks, and you know, it isn't. You know, it's.
Can you give some examples of that?
Well, I mean, ordinary things. You know, we turn up. You know, we look at what we got to do for the day. You know, we eat.
Yeah.
You know, we get ready and we go. You know.
And the less ordinary things. You have an example of that?
Oh well, I mean, what? Getting in a van, driving the van, and getting out at the other end. You know, it's like a delivery job. You know, delivering people to places. You know, I mean, I still drive the vans. You know, for the band. You know, I'll get in. I enjoy it. You know, so it's all good. You know.
That's good, man. My arm is about to give it.
Yeah. No, it's all right. It's all good. Yeah.
Man, fun conversation.